Welcome to Arts for the Health of It, a podcast where you will discover creative ways to improve your health and well-being. Someone may have told you that art isn't for you, but they were wrong. Anyone can create arts for the health of it. No talent or experience necessary.
I'm just a little songbird, try to fly my way homeward with the melody, and I make the beat. Don't know where it'll take me, cause when I'm in the dark of night, I sing my way back to the light. Come along with me and your heart will see that a song changes everything. Oh, oh, oh.
So the National Student Clearinghouse Research Center published some findings from 2020 that college enrollment for low-income high school grads plunged by 29% during the pandemic. And this demographic is already at risk for dropping out of high school. They're 5 times more likely actually to drop out of high school than high income students and less likely to enroll in college. But what if dance was the answer? I'm Constanza Rader. I'm your co-host.
I'm Richard Wilmore. I'm your other host. And we have a really, really great episode and interview today with Jennifer Bonfil from the Wooden Floor. She's the dance education and curriculum specialist over there. And they are an almost 40-year-old organization that really starts working with kids and works with them from at an early age up through graduation. And because of their program, they have 100% high school graduation rate, which is
and college enrollment. So not just getting these kids through high school, but also helping them enroll in college. So I could just geek out about this episode. It was so cool. The Wooden Floor is based in Santa Ana, California, and they audition students. I think, was it between third grade to 5th grade? She'll talk about it. And then they provide wraparound programs and use dance to teach life skills and to help, and then they help connect them with resources that they need in academics, whatever they might need support wise to help them go all the way through high school and help them graduate from high school and enroll in college.
And they have, I think she said they serve over 400 students a year.
Yeah. Which
is insane to me.
It's a lot. It's a lot of kiddos.
It's a lot of kids. And so we talk a little bit about the team behind all of that, what it takes to actually make all of this happen from a staff standpoint, which I was fascinated with because you always, I feel like you're always understaffed and what it takes to put on such a big program like they do. Yeah. It was really cool to talk to her, and we end it with a little dance. So for your viewing pleasure over on our YouTube channel, you can watch all of us do an improv dance.
And even if you're just listening, you can wait for the end of the episode, and Jennifer shares a kind of a dance or a movement prompt. You don't have to have any skill, that's okay.
As evidenced by my dance.
But it just was so fun. And you can do it whether you're sitting in your car, listening, or at your desk, or get up with your family and just do a little dance and movement.
Right? Like, how many other places could you insert that fun little dance? At the Thanksgiving table. Like, just as, it can be such a...
Everywhere, Richard.
Yes.
Everyone's going to be doing that.
From now on, that's what I'm going to do every time I find a new person.
So we can't wait to share this interview with you. But first, we wanted to share a gratitude gram from our Gratitude Grams program. This is a program that supports healthcare workers. So if you're a healthcare worker and you would like to enroll in this program, you can go to heartseatart.org/gratitudegrams. We match you with one of our artists, and you'll get personalized emails and a 3 to 5 minute video from them each week. And we combine messages of thanks from people in the community with with music or a little art activity or a poem or a writing prompt. And that just shows up in your inbox, and you can do it or not. You can watch it multiple times or not, but it's just there as a just an honest expression of thanks for the sacrifices that you make every day. And if you want to support healthcare workers, you can go on that same website, heartseatart.org/gratitudegrams, and write a note to a healthcare worker that we'll include in our videos. So the gratitude gram, we're going to share a little section of one today, is from Tracy Cowden. And she she's a pianist. She's the chair of the music department at the University of Texas, San Antonio. She's an incredible musician. And she will share a little bit of her, why she's grateful for healthcare workers. And then share a little bit of Nocturne Opus 54, number 4 by Edvard Grieg.
Which is my favorite one.
Of course, number 4 is the best.
Yes.
So we'll let you enjoy a little snippet.
Hello, my name is Tracy Cowden, and I'm honored to be a part of the Hearts Need Art Gratitude Grams program. My heart goes out to you as a healthcare worker right now during these extremely difficult circumstances. I'm hoping that this music will brighten your day just a little bit. You can return to it anytime you'd like through the link provided in the email. The piece that I've chosen to play for you today is called Nocturne by Edvard Grieg. I hope you enjoy. thank you for all that you do to help keep us safe. Till next time.
So I love Tracy, and like I said, my favorite song in the entire world is that. It just makes me happy. It's my alarm in the morning. So we kind of started this program, not really, we had emails and we had people who were like, yeah, I'll sign up for it, but we didn't really know. We hoped it would have an impact, but we didn't know. And we've been getting some great feedback from some of the medical staff. And I wanted to read you something from Lindsay Richards. She's at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. Say that 5 times quick. She wrote back to us and said, thank you so much for including me in such a wonderful program. This truly made my day. I feel that oftentimes the work we do takes precedence over the fact that we are also people trying to survive this pandemic. You taking the time to send this and create such an amazing program is most appreciated. I look forward to receiving more of these in the future. Yeah. And I think it's a great way to take a moment for yourself and not have to really do anything if you don't want, but still enjoy the arts. So it's a great program that a lot of people have now signed up for. We have over 100, almost 150 people signed up just by, word of mouth. So get on there and sign up for it. If you are a medical professional, if you know one, if you just play one on TV, whatever it is, if you want these, go to heartsneedart.org. Thank you.
We have a great interview for you today. Jennifer had such great things to share.
Yes. I want to read you kind of her bio, who she is, and then you'll see why we wanted to talk to her. She is a Southern California-based modern dancer and dance educator. She earned her MA in dance education through the University of Northern Colorado, and she has a BFA in dance performance from Chapman University. She's driven by her passion for dance education and serves as the dance education and curriculum specialist at the Wooden Floor, where she has been on faculty since 2006, just changing really the lives of these children that she's interacting with. So take a listen, take a look. We'll see you later. Enjoy. I don't think, the first time I've ever danced outside of like a wedding reception after some drinks is on television, live TV. I got thrown into it for a dance segment, and I was sitting there and they were like, Richard, get over there and start dancing. And I was like, what?
And it was amazing.
And that's the first time I ever danced without help, liquid help.
Wow. Nothing like being thrown into the deep end of the water, as they say.
I will take your prompts at the end.
Excellent.
To dance without any help.
There you go.
How do you pronounce your last name?
Bonfil.
Bonfil.
Okay. It's actually Spanish. Everyone thinks it's French, but it's Spanish.
Oh. Jennifer Bonfil.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, that's who we're here with, is Jennifer Bonfil. She's the dance education and curriculum specialist at the Wooden Floor. And she is wearing a shirt that says dance is the answer.
I love that.
Right? It's very simple.
Stop. Huge period.
Full stop.
In gold? Is that a gold period?
Yes, this is our Wooden Floor yellow.
Oh.
Yes. And what you probably can't see is that the dance is actually a lot of words from the students that are describing how dance empowers them. So they feel free, they feel happy, they feel creative, they're learning, they're wise, they're able. So all of these words make up the dance.
Gosh.
Oh, I love that so much.
I am so stealing that idea.
I know. I was just thinking.
Hold on, everyone.
They can be purchased at thewoodenfloor.org.
Oh, I love that so much.
That's so cool.
Thank you.
And why is dance the answer? It'll be a 3-minute podcast.
Here it is.
We'll answer that question and then we'll go home.
Oh my goodness. That'll take me like 3 hours to answer.
Great. And it's a 3-hour podcast. Hold on,
so
ladies and
gentlemen. Wow. Where do I begin? There are so many benefits to dance and dance education that I don't think everyone understands or knows about. And so that's part of why it's my passion, is to educate everyone, that everyone can benefit from dance education, even if it's not something you think you want to pursue as a career, or even if you think you're not good at it, everyone, no matter your age, your height, right, your ethnicity, your gender, no matter what, everyone can be a dancer and benefit from its many things that it can teach us.
That's so cool. I totally believe in that. I started dancing after college. I was in ballet class with little 7-year-olds. I didn't care. I was having a great time. And you teach at the Wooden Floor. Can you tell us a little bit about what that is, where it is, what you guys do?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Wooden Floor is a creative youth development organization in Santa Ana, California. We were started in 1983 by Beth Burns, and at the time we were just a summer program that was so successful that we've now grown into a year-round program serving about 475 students through dance, through academic and family services. And our mission really is to break the cycle of poverty, or to empower children mostly living in low-income communities to thrive and to find success through dance and access to higher education.
So tell me a little bit about more how you do that, because I know you combine the dance education, or you use the dance education to teach life skills. And can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so we do have wraparound programs. Dance is at the center of what we do, and the wraparound programs include family services, college and career readiness services, academic tutoring, and support like that. But also those skills are being taught in the studio through our approach to dance. So we teach a somatic-based curriculum. Soma meaning the body, right? So in somatics, if you're dancing through the lens of a somatic-based curriculum, it's not necessarily about what it looks like, it's about what it feels like. And often moving from that kind of organic and natural place enhances the performance and what it looks like, even though that's not the motivation behind the movement. And so within that, there are things like, oh my goodness, so much. For example, when you're taught a dance phrase, you learn how to prepare, you learn what needs to initiate the movement, you learn how to follow through, you learn how to kind of analyze and reflect on what you just experienced. And those are skills you can take to school when you're confronted with like a problem in math class. Like, how do you prepare to solve this? What's going to initiate the process of figuring out the answer? What's the follow through, right? All of those skills you learn in dance can be applied to things that you encounter in your everyday life.
And you've had over 95,000 students come through your door.
So we are very fortunate that we've been around for so long, 30 plus years, almost 40 years of transforming lives through the power of dance. And so we have just a number of students who want to come be a part of what we do. And because we do have so many comprehensive programs and things that we offer the students, we do have to limit our enrollment, unfortunately, because we really do want to benefit the student and their families as best with as high quality programming as possible. So we have a program called Dance Free Weeks, which allows us to go into the schools and serve even more students. So that's where we get the several thousand per year that we get to see in a 1-week program where our instructors go into the schools and introduce modern dance and creative dance and improvisation. And what we do at the Wooden Floor, we introduce that to 3rd and 4th graders in public schools for a week-long program. So they kind of get a taste of how wonderful dance is.
So I think that's so smart. So you tend to go like deep, like really get in there with your students and their families to help drive impact and create change within a smaller group of students instead of a broader. Can you talk about some of the impact that has? Any stories that you can share about or statistics about the impact that that's had?
Yeah, well, we love to boast about our college graduation rate. Since 2005, 100% of our seniors have graduated high school on time and have immediately enrolled in higher education.
Wow.
So that's our end goal, is to, I mean, from day one, in fact, on the day of the audition, these little 8-year-olds come and audition for us. And we talk about, in 10 years from now, when you go to college, and they're like, what? I mean, that's over half their life, right? But we set that seed we plant that seed from the very beginning, that we want to help you achieve your goals. It doesn't matter if you don't want to be a dancer. The skills you learn in dance are going to help you achieve whatever you want to achieve. We have our 17th year in a row. Our class of 2021, they're set to graduate on time, and the college acceptances are coming in as we speak. They're trying to figure out where they're going to go next year.
That's awesome.
Another story that comes to mind when I'm asked that question is a student who, in his senior speech at the Wooden Floor, he talked about how kids from his neighborhood were joining gangs, and how without the Wooden Floor, he really doesn't know what he would have done. He talked about how some of the kids from his neighborhood, one was in jail, one had actually been killed. And this is, an extreme story, but because of the Wooden Floor, he overcame the challenges of the neighborhood he was growing up with, and found his core group of supporters and friends. And now he's a Long Beach police officer. But then, there are the daily triumphs of the student who's too shy to say their name in front of the class. And by the end of their first week of dancing at the Wooden Floor, they have this power and confidence in them, where they can not only speak their name, but they can perform a short dance that they created in front of their peers. And it's really those day-to-day triumphs that really inspire and keep me going.
Wow. The Wooden Floor has been around for, like you said, almost 40 years. Do you know the history behind making that connection of dance and literally the rest of life? Like, where that comes from? Like, who was doing that research?
Interesting. So it's inherently in dance, right? We talk about the 5 C's. I don't know if you're familiar with that, like communication, collaboration, right? It's kind of turning into like a buzzword in education right now, because people are realizing that the way technology is evolving and changing so rapidly, that students really need those 5 C's. At the Wooden Floor, we add a 6th one, which is courage. And so those concepts are inherently in dance. No matter what dance class you go take, there's going to be little tidbits of that present. But at the Wooden Floor, we choose to also intentionally teach to those. And as far as like how it started, so the woman who founded us, her name is Beth Burns. She was actually a nun with the Sisters of St. Joseph at the time that she started the organization in the basement of a church. And she loved dance. She had this passion for it. She understood how impactful it could be on a youth's life. And so I think because dance is so inherently beneficial, I almost want to say it was this natural evolution that we saw the potential that dance has to help these students overcome so many challenges, that why not use it to their advantage?
Yeah, just kind of a natural fit.
Yeah.
So we talked a little bit about the origins of the company. I'd love to hear a little bit more about your origins and your background, and how you came into this work, and why this work versus other things that you could do in dance world.
So I started as a professional dancer. I went to Chapman University, where I earned my BFA in dance performance. And the goal was to dance in a modern dance company. And, at first I felt a little selfish about that, in a way, that this is going to be a fulfilling career for me, but is it really the impactful career I want to have? I danced with that company, Backhouse Dance. It's an Orange County-based modern dance company. I danced with them for 13 years. And throughout that time, we did a ton of education work, where we would go into elementary schools and teach dance. Sometimes it was our repertory, pared down for their level. Sometimes it was dance classes. Sometimes it was integrated. So like reading comprehension and dance, and how dance can help with reading comprehension, sciences, math, right? Kind of like combining those academic areas with the dance. And that's where I realized like, wow, like this is what I want to do. One of our very first experiences was in an elementary school where we did this simple thing where it was like walk, 2, 3, 4, put your arms up and breathe, and then drop your arms back down. And to see, I mean, how simple is that, right? But to see the light in their eyes and like the pure joy come over their entire bodies from this simple movement, that right there is what sold me, that like I need to share this passion with the world, with as many people as I can, because look how much joy this one little kid is receiving from this, like the very simplest form of movement. And then, you know, I was so fortunate to just kind of stumble upon, in a way, the wooden floor. I was asked to kind of sub at the last minute for a faculty member who was leaving for the summer. And so I joke with the students that 15 years later, I'm still subbing for this teacher.
Your sub job has really expanded there.
Yes. Yeah.
It happens in a nonprofit. It happens. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm curious what the wooden floor does to promote themselves to reach the people that you serve. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but it doesn't seem like people who are on the verge of joining gangs and in the world that you serve, that they're looking for dance classes.
Yeah. So, and I should say again that that's like the extreme situation, that not all of our students come from that environment. A lot of it, honestly, is word of mouth, because we have been around for so long. The community knows us. They know that we will help you get to college. And so that's a big driving force, is word of mouth, or families who know families. That Dance Free Weeks program that I mentioned, where we go into schools, we actually pair that with the audition. So our audition in the before times, right, pre-COVID, was always the third week of October. And so for the first 3 weeks of October, that's when our team of teachers were out into the schools teaching these Dance Free Week workshops as an advertisement, really, for our audition. And then that third Saturday, students who had participated and learned how much they love dance and how much they can benefit from the dance education go home and tell their parents, like, there's this amazing place called the Wooden Floor in Santa Ana, and you have to take me to their audition. So those are our two kind of main ways. One of our goals, actually, we just finished a 10-year strategic vision, a strategic plan that is just culminating actually this year. And part of that was to enhance our reach. And because we're so limited with our facilities and our staff and our budget of, we have to stick to that kind of 475 students at our location. We actually have 2 locations that serve those 475 students. One way to reach more students was to try to license our brand. And so we have our first licensed partner, City Dance, in Washington, D.C., and they are partners in that we say, here, this is what works for us. Here's our programming, even our forms. Like, take our forms and put your logo on it. Like, we've learned that this works. So here, you now do it in your program.
That's so smart. What a great idea and a great program model, and what a great way to spread the idea. I love that. And if we could go back for just a second, I'm curious about what an audition looks like for these young children that maybe haven't taken a dance class before. I'm curious what it looks like, and then what you guys are looking for, and how you select students.
Yeah, so we actually prefer students who don't have any training. Not that we discriminate at all, but because we introduce our level 1s to what we call Introduction to Dance, where it's not a typical ballet class. They are learning some ballet technique, they are learning some modern technique, but they're also learning creativity and how to create their own movements, improvisation, right, where they're making up movements on the spot, and they have the skill and the confidence to do that in front of peers. So in the audition, it's challenging, I'm going to be honest. We have 8, 9, and 10-year-olds who are in 3rd, 4th, or 5th grade that audition. You have to be in that age group to audition for us, and we can talk about why in a moment. But what we're looking for really is the joy of movement. When they start moving their bodies, do you see that spark, right? That little kid I mentioned who was doing the simple walk and arm movement. Like, do you see that spark that ignites because they're moving their bodies? We also, because we have to have some parameters to decide, we also do look for physical potential, coordination. So it's some improvisation, which actually one of the things I would love to share with your listeners is something that we do at this audition. So some of it is we want them to show us their own movements, right? Express themselves however they would like. And then there are other things like skipping, right? That cross-lateral action is very telling. That kind of helps us determine, are they going to be successful in our program? But then again, there's the like, okay, who needs us the most? It's so hard. It's so hard to choose.
You don't want to say no to anybody.
I
Right.
know. How many applicants do you generally get? And then how many can you actually take each year?
We get a lot and we can only take a little.
As it always is.
Yeah. Yes.
Are they encouraged to then try out audition the next year? And then
Absolutely.
hopefully, yeah.
Absolutely. In fact, this year we had 2 siblings of people who are already in our program. They auditioned for the 3rd time.
Wow.
Yeah. So and they made it finally. They made it. But definitely, we definitely communicate that out, especially to the 8-year-olds who have 2 more chances to audition. And so honestly, that's another thing we do look at is, can they come back next year? Okay, let's wait because we got to take this 10-year-old who can't come back next year.
Yeah.
You mentioned the age group that you focus on to enroll initially, and there's a specific reason why you do that.
Yeah. So I actually learned in my thesis research for grad school that if you can read at grade level by 3rd grade, by leaving 3rd grade, you have a higher percentage or you're more likely to graduate high school on time. And so not that all of our students need that academic support, but we want the longest runway possible if they do, because our ultimate goal is to graduate them from high school and enroll in higher education. So we used to take students up to age 15, I believe, or 13, quite late. And it was more difficult to kind of integrate them into the community of the wooden floor and really have that long-term impact. And so because we do have so many applicants, that was one way we kind of shrank the pool and said, well, if we get them younger, we'll have more impact.
I'm assuming you don't have 475 people on Zoom during a class right now in COVID. So can we talk a little bit about how you've shifted into, I'm assuming, a virtual world lately?
Yes. So California's been hit hard, like many places, Santa Ana especially. And so we shifted, almost a year ago, like everyone else, we shifted online. And one wonderful thing, like we've talked about how dance can help you in life, we teach adaptability, right? We teach students how to be open-minded, how to adjust. One of our principles that we teach and therefore kind of evaluate is this ready and adaptable mindset. So this idea of, are you prepared for class? And in the dance world, it means your uniform, your hair, right? Are you on time? Are you ready to learn? And then are you ready to shift and adjust when new things are thrown at you? And then we take that skill into the new world and COVID happens. And now we're ready to adjust and adapt because we've been practicing that in the studio. So I'm so proud of our students. They really have adjusted and they're so resilient. They've navigated the online world well, better than I expected. So we have, within those 475 students, we actually have technically 22 levels. So 22 cohorts, they're divided by skill. And so, yeah, it's this massive puzzle piece of figuring out which level they're in. And they come between 2 to 4 times a week.
Wow.
I guess that's in the before times. Now through COVID, because online learning is a challenge and screen time is not something we want them to have to endure all day long, we have reduced our classes. So the older students, instead of coming 4 times a week, they're actually coming 3 times a week. And they're participating in ballet, modern choreography, and improvisation throughout their week. And yeah, we're doing it through Zoom. We're making it work. They're making it work. Like I said, they're being courageous and turning their cameras on, most of them, and participating just as if we were in the studio together.
Mm-hmm. Do you have instructors for each of those specific areas? I'm curious about like staff because that sounds intense.
Yeah, so we have a small, we always say small but mighty team. We currently have 7 faculty, myself and our artistic director teach, as well as 5 additional part-time seasonal employees. And we're also so fortunate at the Wooden Floor that we have live accompaniment.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's actually one way we've been able to kind of help the students feel like it's still the Wooden Floor. They're still taking class at the Wooden Floor, even though they're in their home and not in our gorgeous studios. We have that live musician who also zooms in and plays music for us. But to answer your question about genres, it really depends on the teacher's background. So I myself was a bunhead until college. And then, as my dad likes to say, I chopped off my bun and became a modern dancer. But so my passion really is kind of split. So some of us do teach all genres. Some specialize in just ballet, some specialize in just modern. So that kind of contributes to the puzzle piece of how to fit in which classes need to happen throughout the week, which teachers should teach which classes throughout the week. We make it work that way.
And then your learning culminates in their performances, I assume, as well, right? Have you been doing those virtually as well? Are they starting to be in person this year?
We, like everyone in the art world, I'm sure, canceled a number of performance opportunities for our students last year. We didn't convert them virtually. One of our guiding principles as an organization is excellence. And because we were kind of thrown into this mid-planning, we had already started planning our concert. We were actually in rehearsals. In fact, in March, when we were sent home, our choreographers who were visiting from out of state to work with the students, they actually changed their flights. They had to go home early. So we were well on our way to planning this in-person concert. And because we just didn't feel like we could maintain the quality of excellence we wanted to in the virtual world, we decided at that time to not have it. We did, for our graduating seniors, come up with some virtual celebrations for them and kind of piece together some video footage from rehearsals so that they had somewhat of a culminating end of year. Because if you think about it, we get them when they're 8 years old. So these seniors were finishing their 10-year journey with us. And so they, in a way, we were saying, you have something that the other students won't have. That, like, right now, sure, the disappointment, it's huge. But in 5 years from now, when we look back on this time where literally the whole world was going through something, they'll have these special memories forever. This year, however, I'm super excited. We are planning an in-person performance. We're doing something outside of the regular theater. So generally, we would put our concert dance on our proscenium stage, right? It's like the picture frame, the proscenium arch, where the audience is on one side and the performers are up on the stage. Partly due to COVID, but actually this was in the planning before COVID, and it just works out that it's going to be COVID friendly, is a site-specific work at our Main Street location. Site-specific being movement that's created specifically for the place it's performed. And most of the time that means you're creating movement that you couldn't normally do if you were on a proscenium stage, for example. So like the bollards in front of our building, right? Those big cement blocks, right? Can you balance on them? Can you lean against them? Can you make cantilever movements, right? Shapes that you wouldn't be able to do on stage. So movement created specifically for that location. So we're starting rehearsals in a few weeks for that, mostly outside, some inside, all masked, all socially distanced. And then our hope is that come July, I think it's the 2nd and 3rd weeks of July, groups of 10 audience members will be kind of walked around through those different locations around the campus by a guide, watching the site-specific work and kind of
that's such a cool idea.
Yeah, so kind of like a gallery in a way where you're walking around and seeing the different art installations. So
if there's people that are in the Santa Ana area that want to see this, is this open to the public or is it just for family and friends?
It's open to the public. Tickets will be on sale through our website, thewoodenfloor.org. So they will be able to get tickets that way.
Awesome. So definitely check them out. And that's in July, correct?
Correct.
We'll make
Awesome.
sure this episode goes out before then.
Thank you.
To promote it. Yes.
Oh my gosh. All this talk about dancing is like making me want to dance. Can we do our little improv?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So one that I already mentioned is one we do actually at the audition day. And our level 10s still talk about it, right? So they're finishing their 10-year journey and they still remember and like to do this. And we just call it the name dance. So the prompt is use any body parts you would like to spell your name in space. So maybe like your elbow does your first letter, and then your nose does your second letter, and then your shoulder makes the third letter, and so on. So you're spelling out your name, you're dancing out your name.
Oh my
we
gosh,
encourage different levels, different sizes, different speeds, right? You have all these choices. Again, bringing in that problem-solving skill that we would take then into our everyday life.
I feel like
decision making.
This activity disadvantages those of us with long names. Richard, do you want to do it?
I think I'm kind of slammed up against a wall.
Well, me too. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this.
Okay. You can do it from your seat.
Wait, I'm not.
All right.
Ready. Okay.
You want to go first?
Gonna do
go
it?
first.
Are we all doing it?
Wait, do you have people do it at the same time or like as it separately?
In the audition, we do ask them to do it separately. They say their name so we get to hear their voice, and they perform it by themselves. They have had a practice before that, though, I will say.
Well, people get to see our practice. Richard, do you want to go first? Or want me to go first?
You go first.
And so you can steal my
bits. I can steal your moves.
For those of you listening, go to our YouTube channel and you can watch us make wonderful, joyful fools of ourselves.
And who wouldn't want to do that?
Well, and let me just say before you go that there's no wrong answer, right? That's the beauty of creative dance and improv like this. That don't judge yourself, right? Kick off that person who says, that's a bad idea, that's stupid, right? Don't listen to that. Don't edit yourself, because right now it's kind of like a brainstorm, right? Cool. So there's no wrong answer. There are no bad answers when you're brainstorming. And because we're a community, we're going to support each other.
Oh, well, thank you guys. I feel so supported. I'm ready to go.
I feel better.
Okay.
All right. So my name's Constanza. So let's see if I can spell my name. Okay. C-O-N-S-T-A, another N, Z. Why? No, that's Stanzi. It's an A at the end on Constanza. My nickname is Stanzi, which has a Y at the end, so I got carried away.
You could have picked that and done a shorter word.
You what?
You could have picked Stanzi. It would have been shorter.
It would have been shorter. I should have just spelled Stanzi. Oh well, you got bonus footage then.
That's true.
Thank you. Okay, Richard.
Maybe I'll go by Rich today. Wait, I want to do an R, an I, a C. Wait, it's not in here. H. That's it, Rich.
There is something really joyful about that. That's really fun.
Yes, absolutely. And if we were
go.
Well, I was going to say, if we were in the studio, then we would be able to celebrate all the differences that just happened, right? So another benefit to this dance education is teaching open-mindedness, teaching acceptance, right? Some chose to actually make the letter with their body. Some chose to spell it out with movement, right? Draw it out with movement. So acknowledging all the different responses or answers or ideas based on the one prompt, right, teaches us that there's more than one answer to a problem, right? There's more than one solution to a question. So let's celebrate those differences. Let's accept those differences. So again, we're teaching this abundance of life skills just with this one simple activity.
Oh, I love it.
When do you hold auditions?
Because of COVID, we actually just did it a few weeks ago. But generally it's every October.
Okay.
So our returning students come back in September. We get the school year going, and then we go into the elementary schools with that Dance 3 Week program, and then we audition, and then we invite the new students the end of October, beginning of November.
That's so cool. Thank you so much for taking us through this. If people want to learn more or follow you, how can they do that?
Yeah, so the woodenfloor.org has a ton of information about who we are and what we do. We are also on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, all the social medias, the Wooden Floor, at the Wooden Floor.
Awesome.
Great. Thank you so much. Although you didn't do your name, so I'm a little sad that you didn't create your name.
I can do my name if you would.
We'll
like.
wait.
Would you
I
like
think that's
to
a
see
great
your
way
name?
to end this.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see.
Oh, she
she's
has
gonna,
room.
She's going to take some space.
Okay. Just don't want to break anything. I want to check my surroundings. Okay.
Oh, got some shoulder action,
my
elbow.
gosh.
Ooh. Oh, we got some foot.
Oh.
Ah!
Wow. Now I feel like I want to redo mine and make it better. Come back next week and I'm going to have a whole routine.
Excellent.
That was
Another
so
life skill, right? So refining, right? Taking constructive feedback and refining, right? So to sound like a broken record, another life skill that we practice in dance that we then take to school and life and our careers.
I love that so much.
Oh.
If you spelled out your name and you want to put it on video, just hashtag arts for the health of it and the wooden floor. Hashtag both of us. We'd love to see your name dance.
Oh my gosh. Make sure you tag us. This would be a great TikTok video.
Yes. If you want to show up on our TikTok. Wow. I'm an old millennial. If you want to show up on our TikTok, we can feature you on there as well. Just hashtag the wooden floor and arts for the health of it.
There you go. So it turns out dance is the answer. Jennifer, I want to thank you and the wooden floor for coming on today. We really appreciate it. It was fun.
Thank you so much for
Amazing.
having me.
I'm going to
We're honored
dance
to be a part of it.
every day a little bit. That's my goal.
Yes.
I do.
I know you do. I need to start. This is true. Stancy will send me random videos of her dancing.
I had to work on a budget earlier, and to pump myself up, I did like a little happy dance, and then I was like, oh, now I can do my budget.
Yes.
Yes. See, so important.
Shifting mood states,
It's so true.
building motivation.
For all your information on this episode, make sure you go to heartsneedart.org, click on the podcast link, and everything will be right there. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We will see you next week. Keep creating, everyone. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Arts for the Health of It, a podcast produced by Hearts Need Art Creative Support for Patients and Caregivers in partnership with the National Organization for Arts and Health. You can help others learn about the healing power of the arts by subscribing, sharing, and reviewing the podcast wherever you listen or watch. The podcast is hosted by Richard Wilmore, co-hosted by Constanza Rader, and produced by Ivan Briones. Our theme song, Songbird, is written and performed by Natalie Lane. Visit heartsneedart.org to learn how you can support our mission to create joy with people facing life-altering health challenges. Join us next week to learn more ways you can create arts for the health of it. The views expressed on this podcast do not necessarily reflect the views of Hearts Need Art, their staff, board members, or other affiliates. All content is created for informational purposes only. This podcast is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice or to diagnose and treat any health condition. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified health professional with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. Never disregard professional medical advice or delay in seeking it because of something you heard on this podcast.